Is Ruby still worth learning? You reached the right video. Let me explain. This video was brought to you by DigiLink Academy, your #1 source to learning programming fast and get to that 6-figure salary you desire. Our 30-day project course includes our JavaScript front-end projects, our Python back-end projects, our SQL database projects, and much, much more. So go ahead and click the link below to our free 7-step guide so that you can start reaching your programming goals today. I'll see you guys in the course. Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. Is it still worth learning? Am I wasting my time? It's a legacy programming language, right? What should I do? Well, let me answer those questions for you and give you reasons why and why not you should learn Ruby. And the quick answer is, hey, by you learning Ruby, do you already have a job lined out? If not, you got questions. If you got somebody sitting there saying, hey, once you learn Ruby, I'm gonna give you this job, or you have several jobs in your job market that requires you to have Ruby, then yes. But if you don't have that, you got other options that could probably give you a lot better chance to get a job over time, and you would have more resources online to learn from, and you're not sitting out on the island over here on Ruby to help. I'm not here to bash Ruby because Ruby is still used in our marketplace. You got a lot of companies that use Ruby. Ruby's on Rails. A lot of companies that's leveraging those frameworks and that programming language. So I'm not here to bash Ruby. All I'm saying is if you're gonna learn Ruby, you better make sure there's a path to get a job with Ruby programming. A lot of you guys may think, I'm just interested in Ruby, I just want to learn it. Yeah, okay, great. If you're doing that for a hobby, fine. That's perfectly fine. But again, if you're here to actually get a job, you probably need to actually look at the job market to see what programming languages that they want you to have. And a lot of times you're going to have different companies. You're going to have the enterprise level companies that's going to use Java, C, C#, C++, all those guys. Then you're going to have the data science people who can use Python. There's a possibility of Ruby and Go as well there. And then you got the freelance community. That's where you're gonna really start to see the PHPs, MySQL, all that stuff like that. And again, Ruby has its market share, but it's a very specific group of companies that need that. And if I had to just pick one of the programming languages to use, Ruby is in the conversation, but if it's the top option, if I really got other options, probably not. But again, don't think that it's completely a waste of time. And it is worth learning if you have a potential job prospect that's sitting there waiting. But at the end of the day, guys, I can't cover everything in this video. What I will do though is give you an opportunity to comment below about your struggles on what you've been learning. Have you learned Ruby? Have you been learning anything else? Comment below. Tell me about your story and what you're seeing in the marketplace when we're talking about Ruby, so that we can get started, guys. So I know I rambled a little bit up front. I get a little passionate sometimes about programming languages and what you should learn and what you shouldn't learn. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to what are your goals? Are you looking to get a job? What is that job requirement? And even if you, let's just say for an example, you're a person who learned Ruby and you're like, man, Rod, I feel like I waste my time because I don't have any Ruby jobs available. No, you didn't waste your time, because at the end of the day, most programming languages have the core essentials and fundamentals as far as just arrays. You got variables, things like that. So going from Ruby to something like Python or Java, it's not that big of a deal. And if you can learn one, you're gonna learn the other. You just need to make sure whatever you're learning, there's a path to get a job. And if there's a job at the end of that learning, then you're good. What all you need to learn is debatable. You got two different schools of people. You got one school over here, you got to learn any and everything about the programming language before you even start applying for jobs. And you got the people like me who say, hey, I want you to know the fundamentals. I want you to know enough to be able to do sufficient projects. But once you get to that point, you need to be able to apply your skills to be able to learn on the fly and learn specifically what you need to get that job in a complete task. And again, nothing wrong with either. It's just whatever works for you specifically. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to get started. And I know a lot of you guys don't have a roadmap to success. That's what we talk about in our 7-step guide. Links are below for that in the description. It's a free guide, guys. It's gonna help you even with Ruby. There's some good stuff for you, and even in your transition to other programming languages as well, we talk about that. And if you guys already got 7-step guide, go ahead and check out my 30-day developer course. Really gonna put you in the position to become a developer and start to make some money and move forward in your career. So links are below to all that, so go ahead and check that out, guys. So at the end of the day, I personally think with most legacy programming languages, there's gonna always be somebody out there that's using Ruby. There's gonna be always somebody out there using Cobalt. There's gonna be always somebody out there using a legacy programming language. The question is, can you get a job at that place? And the question is how much time you want to invest in a programming language that you might not be able to get a job in. Maybe you guys just love Ruby for whatever reason that may be, and that's fine. But just make sure if you are pursuing this as a hobby, that's your hobby related stuff. And then if you're looking for your career, you really got to think about the third party, the company, what they need and stuff like that. If you're just doing it for hobby, go ahead and pursue it. But if you're pursuing this as a career, that's where you really got to focus in on what the market needs, your projects that you need to create with Ruby or whatever programming language, and kind of go from there. Because a lot of you guys are going to struggle to learn how to code. And the last thing I want you to do is struggle on a programming language that's not going to help you get a job, and that's going to create more frustration for you guys and really going to put you in a position to quit. And we definitely don't want to do that, guys. So at the end of the day, we try to make sure you got the most efficient way to learn how to program with a programming language that's going to allow you to learn quick, get those quick wins, and also transition to more of an enterprise level language. That's usually how our strategy works. Unless we're dealing with some coding geniuses who already know how to code, got everything under control. They may not necessarily know how to showcase their skills or know what projects to actually put on their resume, but we can help you guys with any of that stuff. So don't worry about any of that. At the end of the day, we're just here to help regardless of where you at. And that's my goal, guys. At the end of the day, just really trying to create a academy that's going to identify what your needs are specifically when you're trying to become a software developer, or you're just trying to make some money on the side. Regardless, you want to have some resources for both use cases and help you guys succeed if in your life as a software developer. Well, if you haven't already, subscribe to the content, guys. Tell me about your struggles. Give me details below in the comments. Let's have a chat. If you haven't already, links to the description box for all the goodies below, guys. Go ahead and get that while we still got good rates on that. Subscribe to the content, and if you haven't already, I'll put a link to the 7-step guide on the screen. I'll see you guys in the next video.